In the name
Class
of the
moved to
Father,
New York, by the
and
way.
the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
God, we ask your blessing on this gathering this afternoon for the thoughts and the faith that Brother Francis will be sharing with us, because it will be wise and wonderful, I'm sure. We ask everyone to continue their growth in faith through the rest of our Advent time, so we are truly ready to receive Jesus at Christmas. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. I'd like to do something a little bit different, if you don't mind, this afternoon. I guess all of us in some way were traumatized by the stupidity and the nonsense and the violence that took place just a couple days ago. And following the slaughter that took place in the afternoon, there was a very large group of people, apparently more than 2,000, who sought the comfort of a church, whether it was a Catholic church, a Lutheran church, or synagogue, that they needed the support of God. And yet, probably some of those individuals may not have gone to church or may not have gone to a religious environment for months, maybe even for years. But all of a sudden, during a time that is so traumatizing, that the first thing they thought of in the evening was to run to a religious service and to organize a religious service. And in some way, I think that says something to us, that normally human beings are more centered on their own interests. What I like, what I enjoy. I'm going to watch a television program rather than pray, or I'm going to maybe on the Sunday morning I won't even get up because I might be a little too tired or a little too lazy to get up. Another day I won't attend a religious service because well, maybe I can make a few dollars by doing this. So the God question very often is in the background. Now, sometimes we join a religious organization because that was part of our family training. Our parents were Lutherans, so therefore we follow in the Lutheran tradition and we try to listen to what is being offered by the Lutheran tradition. We may be Catholics, and then, all right, we'll join the Catholic tradition, or whatever the tradition it is. And unless we think about it seriously and reflect on it, very often we could become Christians or Lutherans or practicing Jews simply because our parents are there. They trained us in that direction. They motivated us as much as they could to follow in their path, and so we do it. But unless at one point in your life God becomes real, then the ceremonies that you do for your tradition, whether it's Lutheran, Episcopalian, Catholic, Jewish, you're simply doing it, or we're simply doing it because that's the family tradition. Unless God becomes someone that I can relate to meaningfully, that God is real in my life, I can actually communicate with God. I can actually accept and believe that God is communicating with me. I can actually believe that if I say something, if I say some words, if I express some words, that I can actually believe that if I express some words and I say some words, God is going to understand what I'm saying, God is going to hear me, and something will happen. I'm not only talking to myself, something will actually happen. God will hear me. So at one point, if religion is going to be meaningful, no matter what denomination you're in, and no matter what tradition you're in, unless you actually believe that God is real and that you can communicate with that God, and something is going to happen, you are either going to get some strength or some comfort or some understanding from that God, then your religious belief is not going to be real. So your religious tradition has to lead you at one point that it doesn't really make a big difference who is around you. They help you. Your community of believers, whether it's Lutheran or Catholic, it doesn't make any difference. Your community of believers is there to help you, to make a difference. And you are there so that you too can make a difference in that community. If you say, I'm going to church, but I don't get anything out of it, who do you blame? Is it your community or yourself? If you don't put anything into it, of course you're not going to get anything out of it. You put in what you receive, you receive what you put in. If you don't put anything into your community is not really going to be a support for you. So then eventually, if you don't put anything into your community, you're probably going to just drop out. And some very good people have simply dropped out because they say, I don't get anything out of it. My own family, that's happened. Look at my nephews and nieces. Half of them don't even go to church. My brothers and sisters, some of them don't even go to church. Why? Because they say they don't get anything out of it, and probably it's because they're not putting very much in it. So at one point, you have to reflect on your religious belief to the extent that you believe that God is actually able to hear you. That something would happen when you speak to God. That you will be changed in some way. That you will be receiving some strength that you did not expect. You thought you were tired and you were exhausted and you couldn't do anything else anymore, and all of a sudden you're moved by the Spirit. The Spirit is the one that gives you life. The Spirit is the one that gives us the energy and the dynamism and the enthusiasm to continue. There are many times when you don't want to do something that is good or helpful. You just don't feel like it. But yet, you will find the dynamism and the strength to do it. That's the Spirit working in us. It's the Spirit that moves us. So we don't feel like doing it. We don't want to do it. We don't want to do this. However, I'm going to do it because I found some strength that I did not expect. And I'm going to do it, and I'm going to be of service to others. You